Sports fans, we're brought to you in part by Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. They've been with us for a long time. And this Friday is their PD, Player Development Day. Give them a call or DM them, Overtime HL, on Twitter and Instagram for information on how you can get your kid down there. Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, where skill and fun collide. And breaking news in the NFL, Drew Lock will start at quarterback for the Giants at Dallas on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, in what we're calling the Tryptophan Bowl. Let's bring in Dave Campbell, the longtime color voice of the Elks on Ched Radio. Soupy, how are you, my friend? Happy holiday.
Happy holidays to you. I noticed in your locale, it looks like there's no snow. What's with that?
How about that?
You're just figuring that out. You're just figuring that out, Dave. Hey, before we get to the CFL discussion, if the playoffs started today in the NHL, realizing, of course, that they don't, but if they did, the Oilers would not be in them. Why is that?
Well, I think if you look at the metrics, the analytics, they are very good at generating chances and not finishing them. They've shown a proficiency of or an ability to limit them, and they haven't got the stops they needed from their goaltender. The power play hasn't been good. The penalty kill hasn't been good, even though now it's on a bit of a heater, having not allowed a power play goal in 7 games. I think a lot of it has to do with personnel changes, and I think I probably underestimated the number of changes that they made, and I thought they made sense. I mean, yes, they got rid of Warren Fogle and traded away Ryan McLeod and, let Cody Ceci go and so on and so forth. But we would forget how many of those players were on the power play, right? On the penalty kill. So, they're 11-9-2, which is better than last year. I mean, going into American Thanksgiving last year, they were 5-12-1, right? So they're trending better, but still not finding, their groove as of yet. And I think another factor, Rod, is for the first time, they're running into injuries, right? Arvidsson's hurt again. Hyman's hurt. McDavid got hurt early, even though he missed only 9 days. Darnell Nurse. So there's a number of factors, I think, but it basically comes down to me. They got to find a way to score more goals, and they got to find a way to get a save or two, a game that they're not getting. And, their decor is still a work in progress, too. So, and the special teams have to start picking it up.
Very well said, sir. But
Thank you.
That I know you do a great job. Well, that's what my wife says. Too many changes. She is the biggest Oilers fan that I know, and she loves them an unreasonable amount. But she's not changing now. Clark has some breaking news here. Austin Matthews will not play for the Leafs tonight here in Florida in what we're calling the game of the night. That should help the Panthers as they look to snap a 4-game slide. Now, to, if I may, the bomb that went off figuratively in the CFL yesterday, Vernon Adams being dealt to the Calgary Stampeders. I would think that, that trickles, that everybody felt the murmurs of that one. How was it felt in Edmonton?
No, I don't think it, from my perspective, it was a surprise that he went to Calgary. There's a connection there with Beau Baldwin, who's their quarterbacks coach, who coached Vernon at Eastern Washington. Already VA had a good relationship prior with Dave Dickinson. And you look at, Edmonton's situation. I mean, they just hired their general manager in Ed Hervey. They don't have a coaching staff, and it's rumored to be, the head coach is rumored to be Rick Campbell, and maybe Jordan Maksimic is the OC. Even though Vernon Adams was a very good teammate when, the Nathan Rourke stuff was happening and he lost his job, VA, we all remember the clip. He says, it hurt me great. He hurt me deeply. So
crushed him.
I just thought the Stampeders had the better assets, draft wise, even though, what does a draft pick mean in the CFL draft? I understand that. But I just thought it was a better fit for VA. And the first domino falls, and I guess the second one now is Davis Alexander signing that 3-year extension with the Alouettes. So we'll have to see what Danny Machocha says later today when he meets with the media. And, what does this mean for Cody Fajardo, who's owed I think $215,000 bonus in early January. I think we all know where that's leading. So, VA definitely has shaken things up, especially not just in the West Division, but the Battle of Alberta got interesting.
I still don't understand why agents put those bonuses. I don't get it. I know there's a reason I don't really understand it. And I'll tell you this, if you got a bonus in your contract and you're a CFL player, don't spend the money before you get it.
The only guaranteed money is your signing bonus.
Exactly. And even then, get to the bank quick.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, I got a call the other day from a former Elk coach. He'd been let go. Hasn't been announced yet. Welcome to my life. Can't say what you know. You're the same. You know what it's like. But the stuff that I heard about Trey Ford, can you tell me, is this guy a guy you'd want on your team or not? You saw the stuff that came out, then was rescinded, blah, 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 right? It's just so volatile a couple of seasons there on Edmonton. Where do you see this moving forward?
Well, I think Ed Hervey, one of the reasons he wanted to come to Edmonton was Trey Ford. Now, I'm not saying it was his number one reason, number two reason, number three reason, but I don't know where it was in the scope of things for Ed, but he wanted to work with Trey Ford. Now, there has to be an understanding from Trey's perspective that, if he's going to come back, it's going to be in the right circumstances for the team and, for whatever Ed Hervey sees, which is, you need to come in and compete. So, Trey Ford is loved in Edmonton, and there's a lot of sentiment, of course, from fans that say, give him the keys now and just let him run with it. In football circles, the commentary is a lot different. It's he's a good athlete. He's progressed this year, but, there's still some concerns about, his mechanics and how maybe he works behind the scenes and things of that nature. And look, I think Trey means well. I really do. And I think he has brought some intangibles to the table with his skill and his excitement that gets you going, right? It's really exciting. I think he's 9-9 as a starter now. There is a sentiment, though, that says look at the teams he wins against and look at the teams he loses against, right? And the latter is he's losing to teams that are the upper echelon of the league that have the best defenses, and he's not able to, find a way through that, and he's got to. And when Ed Hervey says, I would like Trey Ford to call Bo Levi Mitchell and call Michael Riley, what does that tell you? Read between the lines here. It's you need to learn how to prepare and how to conduct yourself as a starting quarterback in this league, which I think McLeod Bethel Thompson did a good job of. And I do think Trey Ford took some steps. But this carousel and this, honestly, the controversy has to go away. Chris Jones didn't manage it well at all, in my opinion. I'm not saying Trey Ford is absolved of any responsibility. I'm sure he does have some as well. And I think Jarius Jackson and Geroy Simon did the best they could. But now it's a fresh start really for the organization and for Trey Ford. His best landing spot is Edmonton, because the sentiment is too there is no market for Trey Ford outside of Edmonton. So this is his best spot. And for Trey, I see progress. It has to start getting to the level of consistency as a starter now. And what does that look like? He's just got to be willing to work with Ed Hervey here.
I love it. Well, you say he's loved in Edmonton, David. So was Wayne Gretzky. You saw how that turned out.
Yes.
And I'm not comparing Trey Ford to Wayne Gretzky, but I guess I am. And the other thing is,
you want to wave?
Yeah.
You want to wave?
Hi.
Hey, hi.
Oh my God! I remember when that kid was born. Wow, time flies.
Yeah, me too.
and the other thing, as you know, there's a special place in heaven waiting for you, David, when you get there. But I was through some, and it's not for a long time, but we had some dark days in Sask on the radio. But me listening to you the last few years, that post game of you and Morley, it's like
stuff.
Oh man, God bless you for getting through it, man. But I feel like the worst is behind you, and I think you do too. We got to run, but happy holidays, my friend.
Thank you. You as well. Appreciate it.
Dave Soupy Campbell, the El Camo's color commentator from Chad Radio in Edmonton. We'll be right back with a sports update and viewer takeover right after this. We're live on the Game Plus Television Network, live streaming on YouTube, of course, and podcasting wherever you enjoy your pod.